when it comes to digital storytelling or other forms of
Mhm.
storytelling, are there other ways that you exercise that focus on cultural power when it comes to storytelling outside of the academy?
I have Rolando, there's like I have a there's a filmmaker inside of me, and I'm trying my best to bring her out and make the thing and put the thing out. And so I have these ideas. I'm thinking of I wanna do like a documentary series and I want to profile Black lesbians or yeah, Black lesbians, Black queer women. And one of the groups that I've been interested in lately is Black female barbers. And just because, again, my barber, mass presenting lesbian, she's fantastic. She's a fantastic barber. As you can see, I got
Clean,
my kids at the bed.
clean. Come on.
And so every barber, all of my favorite barbers have been women, and all but one of them have been gay women. Um, the one before this one she was a femme. So she would cut hair. She had these like long almond shaped nails, like incredible. And I'm fascinated by what the experience is that these women, first of all, just as women in a male dominated profession and what that's one, and two, being gay women. And if you're like a femme who's in this like male dominated profession, unfortunately, like my old barber, she passed away only 26 years old. She passed away in October
Mm,
2022. And
mhm.
she was kind of who inspired just these thoughts. And so when I make this documentary, it will be dedicated to Ashley. Ashley the barber was her name. Um, but what is it like? How do you grow up and decide as a woman that you're going to become a barber for one? And then what does the experience of being queer, being a queer femme barber, what is that? Men hit on women regardless of what they look like. If you're mass presenting, men hit on women, period. And so I was always curious about what that was like for her as a femme. And then as a mass presenting lesbian who's a barber, like how does that work too? Like how do men engage with you? How do women who are bringing like their sons or maybe their daughters to you engage with you? What's that experience like? And that's a fairly niche concept because I think barbershop kind of things, barbershop and beauty shop things are just anchors of Black communities for one. So I'm already like into it. I love that. I went to the beauty shop with my mama for years. My dad and uncles and cousins went to the barbershop. Once I cut all my hair off in 2015, I was so excited to go to a barbershop and get my hair cut. And my first barber was a female barber. And so I'm curious about this intersection of Black culture generally, and then how women fit into male culture, which is what barbering has often
Mhm.
been, and then where queer women fit into that. And I think the probably one of the first like documentaries I'll make is that one because in part because my barber is excited to talk to me about
Wonderful,
it. So I have
yeah.
there's someone in my pocket who I can explore this with. But I think I want to make documentaries first because they're most accessible to me to tell the stories of or have queer women, Black queer women tell their own stories, how they arrived wherever they are. I want to put that out there. To my knowledge, there's only one mainstream major documentary about any Black lesbians who are masculine centered. The documentary is called The Aggressives, and it came out in 2005. It just did an update. Looks like The Aggressives 25 years later, but that's the only one. We don't that so in this like pantheon of stories about a group of people, you got one about this one particular group. So that's it. That's the reason why I want to expose or present just more stories into the fold. We deserve it. You deserve it.
You deserve it. And
Mhm,
that is true to what you shared about just how you showing up, like, making
mhm,
visible stories of people whose identities have been denied a spotlight. Not
mhm,
people who don't exist, not people who are just coming on the scene, but people who have been here, but their
mhm.
experiences have been denied a spotlight, and you are utilizing the power of storytelling to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. You're
And
right.
there's the and thinking about just as an example here, like I mentioned earlier how people's stories are personal. The Aggressives, like that documentary and doing it 25 years later is fascinating in that context. the late '90s, like, early 2000s, apparently this is a term that is used by East Coast Black lesbians of color, aggressives. It meant masculine of center. As far as I know, in the South, they were called studs. Here in, like, the DMV, they're called doms, right? AGs or aggressives was, I think, something that is relegated to that area. But most of the women who were in that documentary in 2005, they identified as Black, lesbians, cisgender. They are aggressives. Cut to 25 years later, and there's some of them, one of them, her, and I'm gonna use the term, I'm gonna use the she, her pronoun when I referred to her in 2005 because that's how she referred to herself. Marquise Balenciaga was identified as female at the time. She even says, "I'm a lesbian woman. I love women, and I'm okay with that." Cut to, like, 2024, and Marquise is now a trans guy. He's very handsome. He's an actor. He does all kinds of stuff, and when I show that film to my students and they're able to see these women who are very clear about who they are in 2005, and then we see them, at least I think there's maybe 2 or 3 of them by the time we get to 2023, 2024, who've transitioned. They're very clear about who they are then as well. And so there's it's Marquise is just Marquise blows people's minds because he looks, because of the way that he looks. But it sends home that message that people's identity journey, be it sexuality, be it gender, whatever, people's journey is their own. And you're not gonna
Mm,
know it unless they tell it. You can't paint everybody over with the same brush. People have their own story, their own journey, and you can't know it until you hear it. You hear them
that's
tell
right.
it.
That's
So
right. That's right. You can't know it until you hear them tell it. Yeah, it goes back to, oh, wow, a lot of what you said around just the importance of visibility. Um, yeah, and you say, yeah, we deserve it. You deserve it. Deserve to have
mhm,
those stories told, deserve to have those complexities known and realized. Yeah, deserve it.
for sure.